This is up here back again. I did just stream one part and I don't know where it went. Not appearing in the videos, the stream that disappeared. But anyway, I'm not sure if we'll call this part 2 or part 1. It might end up being part 1 if part 2, part 2. Part 1 if part 2, part 1 if part 1 doesn't show up. So we got some got an XL bottom right, the 888 Poker XL series. It's a $55. And we've got Ace King here. Gonna shove that in a 33 rebuy and try and get some chips. I might actually just take a rebuy now. It's kind of, you know, in rebuys, I used to have the opinion that you should try to accumulate chips, and then I decided that no, it's better from an ROI perspective to not use any rebuys. And now I've got to admit, I'm kind of back to taking rebuys and trying to build a stack, just because I just feel like once I get a stack, it just propels me so often to the final table. So, I mean, I know it costs you more to get there, but at the same time, I just feel like the advantage that I have when with a big stack is greater, and players aren't necessarily playing the rebuy period correctly. Sometimes they're too loose and they do silly things. There's usually some fish out there as well that you can maximize on when you have a big stack, especially if they get some chips early in the rebuy period and you win a huge pot against them. All in all, I just think it's good. I mean, I think it's close. When I wouldn't take rebuys if I was in a really tough tournament, and then I wouldn't do it. I'd want to keep my expenses down. I think I'm going to bet bottom right. I just don't want to cap our range, or at least make it appear capped. Even though I would probably check kings on this board. I just hate having a cap range, to be honest. I just try and avoid it as much as possible with medium hands, because you are capped. I try to avoid being capped when I am capped. If I have kings, I mean, there's just no way we can protect here enough, I think. I mean, we're going to have a lot of hands here where I have 3-bet. Although, to be fair, I guess I would actually have a lot of kings on this board. Well, no, I'm actually maybe not. Not from the big blind. If I was small blind, I would. Because small blind, I'd probably 3-bet some like king 9 and king 10 suited and king jack suited and stuff. But in the big blind, I wouldn't be 3-betting those hands. So, actually, no, I probably don't have many kings. Because I was just thinking, you know, we could check some kings and then we'd be a bit more balanced. The thing about this situation is it's very easy for him to play against us if we check the flop. I think we have to call the turn and then just make up our mind on the river. But he can certainly have ace king or maybe even kings, you know. He could even have kings. Did I just check that back? I should have bet that on the flop. 5. How loose is this guy? Not that loose. This is really close. I think I will jam it though. It's very, very close. Actually, do we have a time bank? Where's our time bank? It's gone. Thing is, we block ace queen, which floats, and I don't think he's going to turn a pair. Oh my god, I played this so bad this hand. I should have bet the flop. I think I checked it. So I was busy talking about the other hand. I think I'm just going to fold now. Maybe it saved us money. Can we just get there one time, please? We had M7. We had 7 M7 there, just under, and you know, it's a great 3-bet stack size, but at the same time, that guy hadn't been particularly loose with his opens, so it was definitely really close. Yeah, it was definitely really close. To be honest, the thing that sort of tipped me in favor of actually going with the jam was just because we are only M7, you know, blinds going up soon. It's like, we need to get some chips. So even though I thought it was pretty fringy, I think that it's okay just to take it. I mean, it's definitely not bad. King 10 suited, M7 against an open, but he was middle and he was not. I mean, he wasn't tight, but you know, he's pretty standard, so it's definitely a close one. I mean, I do think we get a lot of folds. So, and we are called by, you know, ace queen in that instance. You know, we're almost flipping. So, I mean, it's fine, I guess. It's just annoying we didn't get there. I have been running particularly bad. Particularly bad. I've been running. I'm down 100. Look, I'm down 150,000 here. 150,000 in tournament chips. Over the last. This is over the last 100 all-ins. It's actually getting better. It was worse than that. All-ins pre-flop. I just mind games. I filtered my hands to show all-ins pre-flop as just a generic report that comes up when I start my HUD. So it's like, I can see if I'm running good or bad. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But thankfully, hopefully anyway, thankfully long gone are the days where we lose 20 plus all-ins in a row consistently. That was horrible when that was happening. I could have opened actually over there. That was horrible when that was happening. It's just all red. Just from top to bottom was all red. Like every hand lost all in. We had that last year for a number of times. A number of times a red sheet didn't win one all in on a page. That happened a few times. I'm still waiting for the day that it happens the other way and it's just all green. Anyway, I must zone in. Must zone in. Yeah, that Queen's hand is tricky. I mean, I don't think he's going to go too out of his way early stage in the Inferno there when he gets 3-bet from what looks like the nuts. You know, it looks like a pretty strong 3-bet. Although I do think we have a little bit of history, so he might think that I can be a little bit crazy. He might have seen me do some pretty wacky shit before. So we've always got to factor that in. But, yeah, at the same time, I mean, our 3-bet looks strong. He's called. I think he just flats with ace-king. Maybe even kings. You know, he might, well, he might flat kings. He could flat kings. I mean, he gets 3-bet from the big blind. We look super polarized in that spot. So when your opponent looks super polarized, you know, it's a pretty good time to flat with some big hands. Because I might have had, you know, I could have had in that spot ace-4 off, let's say, or maybe a hand like 4-8 suited, you know. Queen 3 suited. So, although I might flat that one. I might definitely flat it. So, it's a pretty good time to flat when that happens. When your opponent's polarized, you can keep in their bluffs, but just also protect from the time you do do run into a monster. Although with kings, you're obviously only worried about one hand, so not so much of an issue. If he had that. I mean, it felt to me like he had ace-king, but I think just calling in position with ace-king there would probably be what he would do at this stack depth when he gets 3-bet by a polarized range like that. But I could be wrong. Maybe he just 4-bets it and gets it in. I doubt it, though. This stack depth. But we do block king-queen as well, so it's like, does he really have it? But at the same time, it's just so many hands. There was just so few hands for him to turn into a bluff in this situation. I mean, unless he floats with like pocket 5s, you know. The flop was like king 7 deuce or something. Unless he floats with like 8s and then decides he's going to turn it into a bluff or something like that. But I mean, Most players don't do that. He is a good player though, so I guess it's possible. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna roll with the 10s bottom left. I don't really see. Yeah, I mean, I think we're just gonna get it in. I mean, the thing is this guy's pretty loose. This guy's pretty loose, so I don't love it, but I mean, especially when we don't win any all-ins. 10! 10! Come on, let us win one. Just one, just one. Let's win just one. Just one today, let us win. I'll take one. One all-in. It's a pretty big pot, actually. I had a nice stack. This player here has been on the tight side. And they've just 3-bet us from second. Fairly ominous amount too. I was just looking and I'm like, is there any way, is there just any way that we're not beat here? I think I'm gonna just call though. I mean, at least it's a, well, to be honest, I actually just want to fold it. I mean, I guess I'm gonna call and set mine, but man, why does this flop come? Why do you give us this flop? It's so hard to fold now. But I just don't see the way I just don't see how we're ever good here. Why couldn't there be an ace high board and then I can just happily fold? I mean, I guess it's possible she has ace queen or ace king, but it just looked like such a strong 3-bet, you know? It was kind of small. We've opened UTG. We're only M10. There's short stacks behind that she all has to commit to. It's just like, really? Do you really ever not have queens or kings here? It's like, do you really ever not have queens or kings? But at the same time now, it's like, it's so hard to fold. It's just so hard to fold here on a 9 high board. Can you just check one time? The snap jam. Man. Do you really have ace king? You don't have ace king, do you? I guess she could have ace king. There's diamonds and spades as well. I'm trying to talk myself into a call. I think I'm just going to fold. Ace queen gets her as well now. Could have been ace king. I don't think so. It just didn't feel like ace king to me, that hand. Sometimes it feels like ace king. You know, like they 3-bet a little bit larger pre because they want fold equity, or I guess are we in the big blind? I guess I'm just gonna call. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna call. I'm gonna check. See what sizing he bets here. I think we have to check the river as well. Damn. I think checking the river's okay because if he's got an ace, he probably bets, and if he doesn't, he probably bluffs. I mean, he might bluff. Not probably, but he might. But he did have an ace, so it's kind of annoying. Because I thought if he had an ace that with a kicker that plays, especially, I thought he would bet it, to be honest. And he did have a kicker that played. But he was the type of player that is very, obviously, like, very scared, I guess you could just say. And I mean, he should value river, but at the same time, I can definitely see why he would check. I mean, we definitely have a lot of nines, and he was scared of that, and that's fair enough. I mean, I understand that, but at the same time, I mean, you can't just always just. I mean, you can't just not value bet an ace, because if you're not value betting an ace, like, what are you value betting exactly? Nothing. You can't just not value bet ever, unless you have like trips or a full house there. Doesn't seem good to me. So I've 3-bet here with Queen 9 suited, and we flop a pair. That's nice. I'm gonna bet. Yeah, that feels pretty good. I think I'm gonna double barrel here actually. So Octavio here. No, that's such a bad river card. Am I gonna go for it here? I think I'm gonna go for it anyway, to be honest. I think I'm gonna overpot it. I think I might check with Queen 9 because it's possible that he has Ace 9 or occasionally a set. And he could sometimes have tens or jacks and not want to play for stacks pre and just call because we're so deep. This is a Sunday warm-up, by the way. And there's not really that many bad cards for us. I mean, a club gives us a flush. A nine's obviously good. A queen's good. Any repeat's fine. I mean, an ace is probably the worst card in case he has like a, ace. He could still have ace king or ace queen. Hopefully not ace jack. Hopefully not ace jack. So I'm just going to check call, I think, if he bets. It's kind of close. I mean, you could bet, you could go either way. He did have ace queen. So he didn't have many outs. And like I said, the ace was bad. Thankfully, it didn't come that time. So, yeah, I mean, that was good hand. Good for us. So this time, I just called with 9-10 suited from the small blind against the small raise. And we flopped a flush draw with backdoor straights. So I think I'm just going to check jam. I think I will actually bet here with the ace 10. Just to protect us from cards like that coming. So yeah, I'm jamming. It's a little bit concerning that it's a bounty, so it's like he's not going to fold any ace, and he could maybe even sometimes call with worse, but what are you going to do, Flop the flush draw, and we're pretty short, so we jam and he folds. It's good. This guy half pots the river. I think I'm just going to fold. I'm struggling to find bluffs in his range. I guess maybe if he's got like 7-9, he might bluff. Or like 10-7, but we block 10s, so it's like just too hard to find a bluff. Just gonna fold. Oh, sorry guys, my stomach's just what I have. I had some noodles and protein bar, and I'm now a monster. It's probably not the most nutritious breakfast ever. Wow, this guy's. Wow, it's an interesting spot. I mean, this guy's so short. I mean, the thing is that we've got 8-9 suited, but he looks really nutty at the same time. Oh my god, he's got 8-10. What the hell is he doing? And he's got a flush. What a player. That's awesome. Just opens off M5 with 8-10 suited to call off against any jam. Makes no sense at all. Horrific. Like, why not just jam it, Why would you just raise call off? I mean, you don't really want the big blind to see a flop with 8-10 suited. And you don't really want to call a jam. But at the same time, you've got a hand that he could have just shoved first in. Would have been completely fine. I don't see any benefit to actually raise calling off as opposed to just jamming. Like, jamming has to be much better. The only advantage of raising rather than jamming is that if we 3-bet and then the big blind shoves, you can probably actually fold. But even then, you know, the pot odds are so big and he's so short, like he's almost getting odds. Because if he's against ace king or ace queen or ace jack, which he could be because players tend to go a little bit crazy for bounties. Although in that spot, I think we're probably a little bit too deep to get too crazy, and the players behind us they're all good regs, so probably wouldn't have been any madness. Just I mean he does look strong. I'll give him that, but like I did like fold the 8-9 suited pretty quickly, but I mean, seems fine. I'm just gonna call with nines here. Can we win a flip, please? Just one flip today. This is the one flip. No, it's not. Oh boy, it's brutal. Just want to win one flip today. Just one. Just one. Just want to win one flip. At least it's a rebuy. It's like, although it is $30 a pop. That's not the best. But at least I guess it's a, I mean, is that even good that it's a rebuy? I don't know. Probably, I mean, I guess we can still win our equity back, so we'll win our money back, so. Good in that regard. Nines, I think I want to 3-bet it, to be honest. 6, 7, 8. Do I want to 3-bet it? Yeah, I think I do. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 9. Because we've got nines, I'll make it 9, 9, 9. I mean, I just think it's just too far ahead of his range to be flatting with nines here. I think it's just, yeah, I mean, it's just way too far ahead of his range. He does fold. Ace-9 off. I mean, this would have been before when the guy just opened and he had the M5 and he just minied. That would have been a more legitimate decision. We had 8-9 suited or whatever it was. That would have been a close one. Ace-9 off. I dare say that his tricks may have worked against me and I might have been like, why is this guy only opened an M5 stack and he's just raised, and we have Ace-9 off, which is borderline. I may have, I don't know, I may have just thought to myself, like, he's pretty loose and he seems like he's a fish. I might have just, like, his stats are really loose, so I probably would have just got it in anyway, but there's a chance in that situation that he actually gets me to fold with his sort of mini raise type thing. But I mean, Ace-9 off is no monster. Ace-10 I definitely would have got in. And the thing is, if he had a jammed, like, Ace-9 off would have been pretty borderline anyway, so. I think we're just going to get Ace-Jack in here and just try and win a hand one day. This guy's been pretty tight though, but I mean, he's just so short. Can we win a hand today? Let's see. An all-in. Let's try to win one. Let's try to win an all-in. Let's do it. Let's go for an all-in. 3-way. Oh, we got them crushed. Oh my god. Ace. Ace! We have done the impossible. We have won an all-in. A pre-flop all-in. We've done it. We have done it. Alright guys, that's it for today. I'm just going to sit out for the rest of the day now and consider it a winning day. I'm going to end the stream and just going to go and play basketball for the rest of the day and relax. Maybe go to the onsen, have a spa. Yeah, we want to 3-bet here too, that much maybe. So top left is a scoop, by the way, and top right's this other scoop. I think I'm going to check ace-queen. This guy's in the small blind. I guess it's tempting to barrel because he's going to have a whole ton of like 7s, 8s, and 9s, and we could just try and barrel his face off, but Gandalf MR is not really a guy that folds, so that's why I've got him in red, because he's a bit of a station. Wow, he might have, what's he got? It feels like he's got deuces. Who wants to bet on deuces? And who wants to bet on ace-queen? 9s. Nobody won that bet. Did anyone say nines? I thought nines would have value bet the river, to be honest. Small. I mean, I know there's one card straight out there, but it's pretty unlikely we have it. Because we would be barreling most of the time if we had that sort of hand. Like, if we have eights, I guess we might check turn, but if we have a hand like ace-8 suited, like I would probably barrel that, or 8-9, I would probably barrel that, stuff like that. So it's like, I mean, compared to our whole range, I mean, having an 8 there is just such an infinitesimal part of it, because if we have pocket eights is pretty much the only hand that we can have that would fit, because most other 8x is going to barrel turn. So, yeah. I think he can value bet pretty confidently. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, what's going to call its worse? Yeah, right, not much, but, you know, maybe we hero with like 9-10 top pair or 10 jack, or if he bets tiny enough, I mean, he might even just get the odd one, like worse one, like if we got ace-7 or whatever, ace-6 or whatever to call. Okay, so we have the aces. And his raised pretty small, so he looks like he's full shit, but I'm going to just jack this one up to that much. And I think I'm going to try and value bet this, like block bet this ace, this king 9. I'm just going to block bet it. You're probably going to have like jacks. No, we got value. Okay, nice. 8s he had. That was a good block bet. Got some value. I don't think he has an ace when he checks turn. I mean, he's only against the big blind, so he doesn't have much to fear. Our sizing was good. Got him to call with worse. I guess if we think the player's going to bluff a lot, then we could just check call, but I think block betting is good because, excuse me, because they might value bet kings there. Or they might have, like, I guess sometimes have checked like ace-x on the turn, and then now they probably just call with it. Maybe. The only time it's a problem is if someone's like going to bluff the river. You know, if they see the small bet and they've got like king jack with a heart and the backdoor flush came in, so now they decide they're going to turn their blocker into a bluff kind of thing. That combo. But honestly, that doesn't happen much anymore. It's just like in the olden days, that used to happen all the time. Oh my god, it's the maniac and we've got ace king. It's the maniac and we have ace king. And we're all in. Going for bounties. Come on. Come on. Please. 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 Don't punish us. We're going to have him dominated for sure. He's going to have ace queen, ace jack. Oh my god, 6-7. No. No 4. No. King. Oh my god. It's a chop. It's so sick. It's so sick. Oh, we were in such good shape, weren't we? Oh man, we were in good shape. How good a shape were we in? We were in really good shape. Crazy good shape. Wow. This guy's bet was 3-way on the turn. I think, and he's called a C-bet flop. I think I'm just going to fold. Whatever. Aces. What's this guy's opening UTG? It's kind of tight, actually. I might actually 3-bet him, but... Nah, I might call. Could go either way. Could go either way. I mean, it looks pretty nutty when we 3-bet against his stack size. That's the thing about it, is we get pretty good leverage against him when we 3-bet. It's going to be pretty scary for him to call. So I'm just going to go ahead and call, just pretend we have 4-5. Well, 4-5 would be trips now, so I'm going to pretend we have king deuce of diamonds. And so he's going to confidently bet his pocket tens here, or he's going to just try and bluff us. It's actually kind of bad card because, like, if he's got, oh my god, check here. I guess we have to bet actually. He's check turn, unfortunately. Man, I couldn't get a bet out. Eventually, I did. Hard though. Hopefully, he thinks we have 5-6 or 3-5 or I don't know actually. He's called though. We got a call somehow. Supremo. I think I'm just going to 3-bet him here on the button. Wow, this is pretty annoying. This is pretty freaking annoying. This guy's 3-bets from the button and then blasts away flop and turn. I think we have to call just because we're so far up in our range. I mean, we block Jack Queen as well, but it's pretty hard to see him bluffing here. I think he's going to have like ace king or kings a lot, but I mean we have just raised on the button. He does have Jack Queen. Okay, don't mind it. Don't mind his play. I kind of just like the fact that we had him dominated pre and he got there, but other than that. What a turn, huh? Gives us top pair, gives him the nuts. That's how they do it, these guys. Very, very easy game. It's a very easy game. You just 3-bet with queen, king, queen, and just your opponent gets top pair. And naturally, you have the nuts. I mean, honestly, who does that? Who does that? I want to know who does that. Feels unrealistic. Feels like we're at the movies watching some sci-fi with some crazy shit. Come on, nines. Oh my god, no, please. 9! One time! One time. One time. Oh, I knew this guy had a 6 top left. That's the best. Pretty sure this guy's got a 6. But we're just going to call because he could occasionally just have 5-7 and be repping the 6. Hopefully he doesn't have quads. The way we run, he's probably got minimum quads. Oh my god. He's got like 4-6 or pocket 4s or something. This is insane. He's just smashed it. It's gone over pot. He's folded the river. He's repped it hard. He repped that one hard. He has repped that one hard. To his credit though, like, I would have been in a nightmare spot with like an ace there. I don't mind his play. If he had the right combo for it. I mean, I think it's fine. It's just funny though when you got it's just funny when you're sitting there with aces and you got the boat. And he's just like over potted the river and left himself with 6,000. And you're just sitting there laughing. How do we hit that 9, huh? This could be the start of run good. This could be the start of some crazy run good. We just binked the 9 against queens against Dino Supremo. Getting the 9s in pre was borderline. But I mean, he's loose and I think it's okay. The advantage of calling is like there's a couple of short stacks behind who could jam, but I'm okay with it though. I think it's fine. He's so loose, and we're not that deep, but I especially like it if we're going to make trips on the flop. And I love the play. Absolutely love the play. Yeah, that ace queen hand was pretty annoying in the warm-up against the jack queen. I mean, I don't know anything about that guy in the big blind that 3-bet us, but I presume normally he's pretty polarized. Although he wasn't. He was pretty merged. He had Jack Queen suited, so most players don't 3-bet that. I think it's completely fine. In fact, I kind of like it actually. I think it's pretty good, but I don't think many players do that. Like King Jack suited, King Jack Queen suited, even 10 Jack suited. I think against a button steal, like 3-betting those is pretty good at a decent frequency. So I certainly think he played it really well. But I was just a little bit surprised that a guy who I have no notes on would 3-bet Jack Queen suited and play it that well. I just thought he was going to show some weird hand like Jack 8 off. I didn't think that actually. I thought he had it, but at the same time, he could actually maybe have Ace Queen or Ace Jack as well, I guess. Maybe even Ace 9 or something like that. It's completely possible that we're splitting. Occasionally he's bluffing. And the only hands we lose to, it was pretty hard for him to have a 10. I mean, not many 10s would make sense unless he's got quads. So it's like, it looked like he had Ace King or Kings. Or maybe, the Jack Queen. But like I said, I don't expect most players to 3-bet that pre. So I'm like, Ace King, Kings. Like, we've got Ace Queen. Like, we're so high up in our range. We block the nuts. I think we have to call. This is pretty dicey bottom right, but I think I will peel one off. But this is a sort of hand that we could look to turn into a bluff here at some point. It's going to look pretty strong by us if we make some sort of action on the turn after we overcall flop. And we do have a pretty good blocker with the queen. And they shouldn't have many 8s in their range. We could have pocket 9s or ace queen or something. I almost want to like click raise, like min raise the turn and shove the river, but it's so sick. Like, it's like pretty crazy, but I don't hate it. Just because, I mean, it's just so hard for him to call down if we do it. If he's not a fish, I mean, if he's a fish, it's pretty easy for him to just snap call with aces and kings, or even like ace queen and queen king. But if he's a good player, like it just looks like we have the nuts. It just looks like we have the nuts if we do it. But I think I'm going to fold. But I wish I had more time back. I want to do it now. I actually do want to do it. It's pretty sick though. Just min raise the turn and shove the river and just represent like 8-9, like the full house, or like an 8x, or just 10 jack, just flop the straight nuts. His bet on the turn though was pretty scary. Like it actually kind of looked like he had 9s full. Because he bet small into 2 players that are both called on a card that like doesn't really change the board much, and it's a really wet board, right? So you think if he has aces there, he wants to protect his hand. It was like, how does he just bet small on this like scary board? Like, it's the sort of bet I would do with like 9s, just so I could keep everyone in. I think exploitively, they're still going to call on all their draws and just be drawing completely dead. Because players hate folding. But if you bet big, they might. Once a board pairs and you bet big, if they have like a small, especially like a weak flush draw, they normally fold. But so I bet small in that case to keep them in, and then hopefully they bink their flush and you can get maximum. But I mean, in some situations, not always. I mean, obviously, sometimes players, when the board pairs, they don't care. They're just like a pig in mud, still chasing draws. But in that sort of situation where it's like early position, players involved in the hand, and it's like 3-way, and the board like smashes everybody's range pretty hard. Like he looks pretty nutty when he does it in that spot. Ace 7 suited, call. Probably gonna have to call. Probably gonna have to call a bit on the flop here. We'll raise with the ace 5 off. The cut off bottom right. And I will fire this flop. feel like it close to half pot's about right. Bottom middle we can just jam, and actually kind of wanted him to call. Top left this guy fires again, which is pretty weird. I think I'm going to peel one more off. Sometimes in that spot guys are like, I think they just think that you might have a flush draw, and so they bet a turn to get you to fold, but if you call they shut down. In theory anyway, that's what's happening. And top right, I think I'm just going to barrel here. It's about our best barrel hand. And try and get some 5 and 6x to fold. Actually a really, really bad river. I'm not sure I want to barrel on that card. I was going to barrel, but this is such a freaking bad card. I feel like if he's got 7-8 or 7-9 or any 10x, he's going to call. The only hand we fold out is a hand like ours, like ace-8 or queen-8 or something that floated, or like a missed flush draw. It's got like jack-queen of clubs and stuff, but it's just not many hands. Bit annoying. Bottom left would have got flush, and he's 7, 20, 21. I think we can actually call here. We're getting like 2.5 to 1. I know it looks ugly because it's like, damn, that's a shit flop. The reason I called the ace king is just because there's a couple of short stacks behind who I thought could jam, and you might get one of these weird spots where like this guy then goes crazy ISO because you've just flattered behind, and all of a sudden you've got everyone crushed and you're in this like massive pot. I think I'm just going to fold now. We don't have a club. If we had a club, I'd obviously call, but top right, I normally in these one-tone boards, I normally see about 20% pot. It seems to work pretty well. You get a lot of folds, and especially in that instance, I think it's fine just to do it and then give up, because RDC RSN is like a crazy nit. Like, he is ridiculously tight, that guy. I don't even know how he wins tournaments, to be honest. He's good, don't get me wrong. He's a good player, but I just don't get it. Because like I never see him like have anything but at least top pair if he's calling. Maybe that's how he does it. He just play like an absolute nit and just win. Like, he just wins, you know, he just wins. But like I never see him play a hand. Somehow he wins. Maybe it's just the variance of like the times that I've been at his table. King 10 is pretty close. I think we could go either way with it. We could 4-bet it. We could call with it. But yeah, definitely one of the legends of the game, but just somehow I've actually never seen him actually play a hand. But yet he's won like almost $1 million online profit. So it's like, how does he actually do that without ever playing a hand? I don't know. It baffles me. It's like the never play a hand and win strategy. Just wait until you get the nuts and just get like 5 all-ins. That seems to be how he does it to me. But I don't know. Although having said that, he probably hasn't won any tournaments for like a year. Oh, he hasn't like profited in the last year, so maybe his strategy was better when there was fish everywhere, but I don't really get it. Maybe he just runs, maybe he's my like exact opposite, my polar opposite, and he just runs like God. Late end game, like, just runs good. Runs like a god, runs like the god. I don't get it, I don't get it. I mean, he's good, don't get me wrong. I've seen some of his strategy stuff and he knows what he's doing, but it's like big dog pocket fives, you know? I don't know if you guys remember the guy Big Dog Pocket Fives. But that guy came out with some strategy videos and they were like so disgustingly bad. It was so clear that he had no, like, he wasn't a donk, but he was just not good. And it was so clear that he had no idea what was going on, like compared to a lot of other good guys. Like it was so clear that he wasn't good that I actually thought he was like leveling people in his videos, but apparently he wasn't. Like there was just genuinely his strategy. Here's his graph here. So this makes sense to me, like him just not winning anything and just slowly going down for like 1 or 2 years. That makes sense to me. But this doesn't make sense how he just final tables, like chops the Sunday Millions like 2 weeks in a row. Like that's just ridiculous. There's this obscene run good. You know, this guy was at this point here and he was up like 500,000 without a lot of volume, and everyone was like, this guy's sick, right? And then you watch the guy's strategy video and he's just horrific. And he's just had these like massive 66k, 55k wins and stuff where he's just run like God. And unfortunately, people, it's just the brutalness of tournaments. You get a guy like Big Dog Pocket Fives, who's I would consider an average tournament player who's just won like, you know, almost 700,000 profit online. And I know some of you guys out there are grinding like micro stakes that are actually probably a better player, and it's just, unfortunately, it's just, you got to run good in these big tournaments at the right time, you know. It can just change so much, you know. It can just change not just your results, but your whole approach and confidence and stuff can go up. 436. It's like a guy that used to stake me called what was his name? Modzilla PL. A guy I know. He was like a average player, doing okay, just battling. And then he made a deep run in Scoop, and then he got final table with like 8 or 9 left. He got jacks in against queens and aces and binked a jack and catapulted himself to the chip lead and ended up winning like 400k in the Scoop, you know. Whereas if he had a busted, you know, he still would have been the same sort of battling type player, but he had this like sick 400k score, and then all of a sudden his confidence up, he started playing everything, and then, you know, kept running good, and quite insane when it happens. I hope it'll happen to me one day. I'm still waiting for it. I'm still believing. Still believing. Probably should have flagged that 10 jack. I think I should have V-papped that. Oh my god. I think I should have V-pipped that 10 jack one way or another. Why not just run it? Oh my god, he shoved? No, so that's not going to be good. Honestly, I thought I was about to time out there, so I just jammed it. But I should have just raised with it. That's a bad play. But I thought I was going to time out. Because do I have a time bank? Yeah, I don't have a time. Do I have a time bank? Yeah, I don't have a time bank. And I look back and I'm like, I didn't see any time bank. You know, it doesn't come up because I've got 0 time bank, so it just folds. And I'm like, oh fuck, I'm going to fold. And so I just jammed. But I should have made it like, I should have made it 24 or something, I guess. I think I should have made it like 24. And then shove the river. No, it's not a big deal. I mean, it's not a huge deal, like, but I just think he's going to have a hard time. A guy like this, who's probably not that good, my note says seems very fishy or maybe creative. Pretty sick turn check raise with another, especially a guy like that who's got a wicked imagination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He, yeah, he could have just thought I was doing something crazy on the turn, turning some weird hand into a bluff like 8-9 or something. Actually, not 8-9, that was a nuts. That wouldn't be a very good bluff. I meant to say 7-8. He did tank for a while too, so it's a bit frustrating because maybe he just had you know, ace jack or queens or something. I think I'm gonna jam 8-6. Yeah, I'm gonna jam it. Yeah. Full house. That's how we do it sometimes. Sometimes we just do it like that. It's very rare when it happens, but I like it. I like it a lot. The thing about that situation is that we have 8-6 suited, which is a break-even jam. But if you factor in the fact that we can get his bounty, excuse me, do I want to 3-bet this guy? He's been really tight. I might call, actually. Oh my god, we have flop triple nipples. It's not nipples, but it's 8s. It's not 3 queens, it's 3 8s. Triple octopus, maybe. I think I'm just going to raise the flop, to be honest. I think I'm just going to raise the flop. I mean, it's just like, because it just looks... I mean, he's just not going to expect us to have many 8s. And I think if he's got a hand like kings, like he's got here, like he's just re-clicked us. I think he might think sometimes we're just going to raise with like 6s on the flop. Just to like... I think we have to just call now and then just... Because there's still a small chance that he's just full of shit. And we just have to hope he doesn't have queens. I don't think he has queens. I think he has like jacks or aces or kings. He might just have ace jack. You have ace jack! You have ace high! Woo! That guy just went, whoa, I'm out of here. His brain just checked out, went downtown, checked into a hotel. Checked into a hotel with a 6-pack of beers, turned the TV on, lying on the bed, drinking some beer. His brain, that is. Meanwhile, his body was still back at home trying to play poker. Insane. Sanity. Meanwhile, Queen 6, what happened? Did we limp in? I'm confused about this hand. Too busy enjoying the ace jack. I kind of want to check raise, but I'm not sure exactly what happened this hand. But I kind of just want to check raise, but I think it's just going to look too weird now. We do have a second nut flush draw. Just going to fold and take the break. I think I limped in, he was big blind, right? Is that what happened? Yeah, it must be. Yeah, I guess we could have check raised turn. That would have been pretty sweet. Anyway, try not to make those small mistakes. Only happens when I'm streaming. But for the viewing pleasure of you guys, I'm happy to keep streaming. Besides, I'm running good with this stream, you know? So hopefully we can continue to run good after this break. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Aces Up for PokerNerve, and I'll see you soon.